So, so the beauty of this format, Masang, or the
Yeah.
past several weeks, the ability for us to keep looking at and maybe sometimes even step on the toes of certain people and certain demographics also. Not by virtue of the fact that we want to. It's just that it is what it is.
It is a very interesting topics that happen. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard to
absolutely.
not hard to say no to them. Yeah.
So, having said that, though, there was something that sort of struck a chord based on some of the discussions that we were having, and it came as a how should I put it? It came as a byproduct of looking at circumstances, and I think you coined the phrase. You coined the phrase much better. Essentially, the context of which what we are talking about is whether hate, especially online, whether hate is a rite of passage. Whether it's something that, whether you are a celebrity already, whether you are someone who is coming up the ranks as such.
Yeah, you're coming up the ranks and it's something that you have to go through to get to the other side.
Exactly. Whether it is a necessary evil, let's consider it in that way, and whether it is fair, unfair, good, bad, or ugly, essentially.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
But yeah, since you brought this up, why don't you begin?
Yeah. So so the reason that I was thinking about this is so I think a few weeks back there's this TV show in Sri Lanka. It's like the Sri Lankan version of Voice, the TV show, right? The talent show. And I think this is the teenagers version, the teen Sri Lanka. I'm not really sure about the title, so don't hold it against me. But it's about that show, and there was this like huge amount of hate for one upcoming artist, a female artist, and there was this video and memes going around certain pages on social media, just blackguarding that performer for performing really well, right? Like by saying she's overacting, she's overdoing, blah blah blah. None of that is pertaining to her actual singing, which is what the show is about, but in terms of her entertainment aspect of it. And I was like, it's uncalled for. It doesn't even make sense, and there was a lot of support that came after that particular meme started coming off. But it made me kind of wonder that this is actually not the first time that we've kind of seen this happen, right? This whole hate against someone up and coming. So from an international perspective, we've seen this when, of course, the infamous Justin Bieber started coming up, right? I'm sorry to bring this up, but
still, by virtue of that, still one of the most disliked videos of all time on YouTube. So yes,
I think right after Rebecca Black's Friday. But please go and check that video on YouTube. It's fantastic. But anyway, so even when Justin Bieber, now he's obviously a pop icon. He's he climbed the ranks and he's up there right now. Sold many albums, but when he started, right, there was so much of hate from across the country, from not just any sort of type of people, just from everybody. He took a lot of hate, and I can't imagine being him, going through all of that, kind of trying to navigate life and being a kid and trying to do this thing that you love, and also having to sort of navigate yourself through the amount of hate that you would get on a daily basis. So it kind of got me thinking, what, maybe is this a good thing or is this a bad thing, in the sense that, is this something that you should take head on, and is it a mandatory sort of unwarranted mandatory thing that you should experience in order for you to become a professional at what you do? So that's something that was kind of what I came in, like when I saw that happen in that level to a teenage star. This is the first time that we've been in Lanka.
Yeah.
We've experienced that happen to a teenage star that I can remember. So yeah.
So I think that's a good into exactly what now I think it has come into the perspective of cancel culture has become, Mashan. Like this is something
Yeah.
that you will see happen internationally and even in a local level as well, where the premise is it makes for better television and it makes for better ratings and views
Yeah.
if there is a problem as opposed to the good, so to speak, right? And
Yeah.
I'm gonna quote. This is primarily because you know that this is something that you would have generally said, but I feel that the whole concept of hate is actually a litmus test. So much so that to quote the Chrysler commercial, it's the hardest fires, or rather, it's the hottest fires that make the hardest steel.
Makes the hardest steel.
So
yeah.
in my head, I think hate is part of, like, it's a necessary evil. It is, as we considered it, a rite of passage, because I think that is what defines and divides the good perhaps from the great, right? The ability for you to take praise, constructive criticism, as well as pure hate, because hate is not
pure
criticism, right?
Yeah.
Hate is in essence something.
It doesn't
which
have any
is-
justifications.
It doesn't have value, right? That is the problem.
It doesn't have value. Yes.
But I think the ability for a person, whether you are a celebrity or otherwise, the ability to take that and either deflect that so it doesn't affect you, or to use it and harness it to do something positive with it, or to make yourself better, and to use it as catalyst to leverage yourself. I think that is what it should be. I personally hate the whole cancel culture that's happening right now. Primarily because on the one hand you judge people by what they might have done at a younger age, or at a time that they might have not understood the ramifications.
Even at the start of a career, right? There were so many celebrities that had tweeted or something that was, of course, wrong, but maybe they were ignorant at the time or uneducated in that particular subject matter. So they might have said something, and that shouldn't be a reason for somebody to be labeled and cancelled and just whatever that take. It's not some reason for people to take whatever that they're doing right now away. Everybody does mistakes, including the people, I'm sure, who are tweeting about, this guy did this guy did that. So everybody should have a platform, an opportunity to identify what they did wrong, learn about it, and then move on, right?
To me, Mazando, like I don't know. This is just something I felt just by talking about this. It seems like we are foreshadowing something that's going to happen to us in the future, and we are just keeping this in the archive and the repository of the content that we've done to later show that we understood it's wrong and things happened of this nature. Okay, this will be like an attachment to an apology.
We spoke about this, so it's like, it's not even an apology. It's just I refer you to this video.
We knew this was going to happen, so we did this so many years ago.
We did this
so,
video.
I feel
refer
it's
to
in
it.
That context, but in the grander scheme of things, though, I think if you take the local variants of hate manifestly being used well, in my opinion, is one of the OG characters of reality TV, Shihan Muranga.
Shihan Muranga, yo. I remember, man, I was one of those people who hated him. Come on. I mean, who didn't, right? Like, for what reason? I mean,
but he went on to do great things, right? He went on to be a savvy businessman, not just in terms of music, but he made himself into an entrepreneur, and he used that. He used, I feel, the sentiment of there's no such thing as bad publicity to the maximum level, right? He just took that hate and he used it as a catapult to get to the place that he wanted to get, not in terms of just music.
Get to a success.
Exactly.
100%. I respect him in the sense, like, from all the superstar right? Like the superstar, he wasn't even a winner. He was just, I think he was cut off at like 5 or 4 or something like that, right? One of the finalists, I guess. But he took that platform that he achieved, and even like living in that sort of hate, he sort of navigated through really well, and he made sure that he prepared to a really good situation, like a really good life situation. So that's fantastic for him. That's a really good example of, in terms of local context, how you navigate through hate, right? And this is not, especially in the entertainment industry. So I think looking at the case that we are talking about right now, about this teenage star, I think she's also handling the situation well. And the difference between local stars and I think international stars is that internationally you have like publicists for each contestant at one point. The moment you gain some sort
you
of
have you have a
attraction
you
and
have a support system for damage control,
you have a
basically, which
support
you don't
system.
have here.
Yeah, but in this term, in locally, we don't have those kind of job titles for the most part. So what her support system, I'm guessing, is her parents, her family, friends from the first year, and I guess she does have a lot of support online as well to sort of combat that hate. So I mean, hopefully she gets through it and gets to a good position. Hate is definitely a rite of passage.